Hi there, I'm Gracie. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about throat chakra activation. I've been doing a lot of reading on chakra activation, spiritual ascension, healing emotional blockages, etc. You know, I was always a confident kid, a bit goofy, but confident. My parents used to always tell me that there were times when I was rude. I would say things bluntly, not caring about other people's feelings. So, as a kid, I got into this mindset that I must always be kind with my words. And as wise people say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Sooner, holding conversations became such a task for me that I slowly turned into kind of an introvert. I was also dealing with a lot of stuff back then, like high school bullies, judgy relatives, wanting to be better at school, stuff like that. But when I got into my corporate life, I was back to my confident self. I always believed in assertively communicating my views. And I'm an auditor, so that requires me to have a lot of awkward conversations. When I recently started reading up on this chakra activation, I came across this concept of chakras running in reverse direction or the chakra being overactive. So, if your throat chakra is overactive, you overdo your communication requirements, like being aggressive in your conversations, hearing too much between the lines. Remember, communication is both speaking and hearing. And this got me thinking, if my childhood experiences of being shamed for being outspoken is what caused me to become an introvert later, and then being introvert for far too long actually intensified my communication skills in my workplace. This is almost so common in every household where parents trying to teach their kids better etiquettes end up judging their childishness and innocence. And kids then internalize this judgment that there must be something wrong with them instead of just thinking about it as part of growing up. And this is what is called the emotional blockages of your ego mind. Ever since we are kids, we are always receiving feedback from our friends, from parents, from relatives, from neighbors, from our teachers, from our co workers, peers, juniors, seniors, and so on and so forth. It's like a continuous cycle. There's always feedback received and feedback given, and all that is internalized into our psyche, which then becomes our personality traits. Like people who work too hard to excel in their academics or in their workplace may be victim of a feedback received early on of not being good enough, so they are trying too hard to prove that feedback wrong. Or people who are too shy to dance in parties may be because they received a feedback in the past that they are not good dancers, or people may have made fun of them when they were dancing. As for myself, I've been practicing mindful communication these days. It's kind of the reason why I started this podcast channel. I was observing that in my work circles where I thought of I was being communicative, assertive, I was just bluntly putting out my views. And being an auditor, I'm almost in a habit of hearing many interpretations of what is being said that sometimes I forget that it be just me in my head. When throat chakra is active, you'll be able to communicate with kindness. Communication will not be at expense of someone's feelings. Misunderstandings would happen. That means you're not assuming different meanings of what was said. By freely speaking out my views here on this channel, I'm trying to release all the suppressed energy from the past. And by doing so, I tell my ego mind that it doesn't need to overcompensate by being aggressive in its communication. Think about it. Observe your personality traits. Is it your ego mind overcompensating for the feedback that you received as a child or as a teenager or maybe recently? And try to release those emotional blockages. And that's how you overcome this so called matrix mindset and ascend spiritually.